Okay, I'm gonna attempt to explain this as best as I can, but it's rather complicated, so try to stay with me. I'm gonna be using T3's setup for the secret world here because it's the one I use, but I also think it's just the best suited for what I'm about to explain. And T3 setup is simple. It's just look at the left white line here, as you do for every setup. You get into the corner, and then as you're holding forward, you start sliding the stick like this to the left. And as soon as you start sliding, you want to cancel your movement with a morph. So that was too. Oh, that wasn't too early. That was frame perfect. It's like you just cancel it with X and you keep holding forward, and you will clip out of bounds. That's all there is to it. So what you need to understand about this trick is that there's two different BSJ positions. I guess not BSJ. There's two repositions. One of them will be higher, and then one of them will be at the exact same height as the floor that you're repositioning on. We want the higher one so that we can BSJ onto some collision. And the thing that causes these two different repositions is just two very, very slightly different positions that you're in before you reposition. And you can see on the left, I actually have my X, Y, and Z down to the millionth of a precision unit, because it's going to matter. So all you need to look at is the second value and the last 3 digits of the second value. So let me show you what those two values look like real quick. So let me frame advance. So this is, you can look at the last 3 digits. This is 312. This is the good position. This means that we're going to get a upper reposition. If I frame advance here, you can see my Z value actually moved by over a unit. So I've raised by 1 unit, and this will allow us to BSJ. So 312 is the value that we want. That's one of the two positions. Let me try to get the second one real quick. Oh, perfect. Okay. So this is the other one. This is 296. This is the one that we do not want. This one will reposition you at the ground level. Here, you can see my Z value is -4.6. That's bad. And I just did the setup the exact same way. So it's very difficult to know which one you're going to get. It feels essentially random. Like when you're doing just the trick just like this, you really don't know which one you're going to get. But I figured out that, well, I'm pretty sure the way that this works is that the reason that it stops at 296 instead of, it stops at 296 instead of going to 312. Do I have save state for this? I do. So the reason it stops at 296 instead of going to 132 is because it doesn't have a small enough of an increment. Like Samus doesn't get displaced by a small enough amount per frame to reach the next increment. So she's just hitting the wall and stopping. So, and that just means you keep holding forward. She keeps stopping, she keeps stopping, she keeps stopping because she's trying to move too much forward. But what you can do, actually, is you can, while you're morphing, and after you've reached the 296 value, which would be somewhere between halfway to the later third of your morph, you can switch to upright. And you can see that actually incremented my position to 312. And the reason for that is because whenever you're morphing against the wall, or I mean, I guess anything really, if you change your analog stick position from straight up to like upright, it will increment your distance that you move less per frame because you're just not moving at your full speed. And since you're incrementing less, you can actually reach that threshold of 312 without getting repositioned. All right, reposition's the wall. Wrong word. The collision detected by the wall. So what that means in practice is you just want to do a morph, and as you're holding forward, you want to switch to upright. And then that way, whether or not you actually get the 296 or the 312 value, you'll increment to the 312 value and letting you get their good reposition. But it is very important to note when you're doing this, let me get that other save state. So this is the 296. I'm going to increment to 312 by holding upright. You see it increments. But I can also, if I hold too far outside the notch, like you can see the input display, I'm holding outside the notch here. I can also increment it to further than that because I'm still incrementing by even smaller amounts. That's actually possible to keep incrementing the value. And this is bad. I'm pretty sure this won't reposition. Yeah. So all that means in practice is you want to hold forward, upright, and then don't hold any further than upright. You want to switch to down left or down right for your BSJ immediately. Let me try to show that in real time. An input display here. Yeah, like that. So you could see on my input display I held forward, then upright, and I immediately switched to down right. That way I guaranteed that I had a good BSJ position and I would not over increment the value. And that's basically all there is to it. This is an extremely precise trick, but I believe this seems to be very consistent. The reason I like using T3 setup is because it lets you get really, really close to this corner, which means that you will reach the either 296 or 312 very early on in your morph, which gives you leniency to hold upright, like a lot of leniency to hold upright and increment your value. So I think that's the best reason to use T3 setup, but you can do this just perfectly fine by holding forward and morphing at the right time. It's just that you might have to delay your upright input like slightly later on that very practice with this one. Yeah, I'm not sure. Just because it's going to take more time for Samus to actually get in position. Like you can see the values changing right here. And then now it reaches 296, which is when I can increment to 312, like that. But yeah, that's it. This is a long ramble. But this is, I figured this will clear up a lot of people's questions, including my own, about this trick. So thanks.